What's going on, people? I hope everybody is cool, man. So real quick, I'm going to hop on here and talk about this Shannon Sharpe situation, about him settling, the assault lawsuit and getting fired or parting ways with ESPN, etc. I know I'm a little late to the party, but you all know when I stick my head out, man, I got some advice. I got some encouragement to give you. All right. Now, what just happened to Shannon Sharpe, man? I'm not going to tarry too long on this, all right? What just happened to Shannon Sharpe is deeper than just celebrity news, all right? If you've heard the headlines, like I said, he was fired from ESPN. He just settled an assault lawsuit for $50 million or something like that. Now, when people get sued, let me tell you all something. When people get sued, let's say somebody gets sued for $100 million, right? And then the person who's being sued makes a settlement. Okay. The settlement is not going to be $100 million. All right. If somebody is sued for $100 million and the person makes a settlement and the plaintiff agrees to the settlement, well, the settlement can be $5 million. The settlement can be $10 million, etc. So nobody is going to get sued for $100 million and then make a settlement for $100 million. That's not going to happen. Just a FYI for people out there. All right. But if you look at this, man, some people will say, oh, it's another brother, going down. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't just about Shannon Sharpe. OK, this is about us as men. Okay. And I'm talking black men, white men, Asian men, whoever. Okay. Heterosexual men who like women. Okay. This is who I'm talking to. All right. This should be a wake up call. All right. This should be a wake up call. Listen, man. Dudes act like, they like being destroyed by women. Seriously. Some of you dudes act like you get a kick out of allowing women to overtake you and overthrow you and take advantage of you. Okay? Since the beginning of time, men have been falling, not from a lack of strength, not from a lack of talent, not from a lack of business ethic, right? Not from a lack of opportunity, okay, but because of a lack of self-control, especially when it comes to women. A lot of us as men just simply lack self-control when it comes to women. You don't have it. You don't have it. Okay. It goes way back to the book of Genesis. And you see Adam, who walked with God himself, lost everything because he listened to Eve instead of God. One moment of weakness cost him paradise. That's not a myth. That's a pattern. If you all remember the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, I forgot Martin's name in the movie, but his mother, played by the lovely actress Della Reese, I believe her name was. And she told Martin, because, in that movie, Martin was a player. He liked to get around with the women, right? And she told him one day, she said, a moment of joy is going to cost you a lifetime of pain. It was something to that effect. She was telling him that 1 minute of pleasure can cost him a lifetime of pain. Okay. She told him something to that effect. And that's real. That's real. If I go back to the Bible, right? Men have been allowing themselves to fall because of women way back in biblical days, man. Way back in biblical days, men lacked self-control way back in the biblical days when it came to women. Okay. You got, women out here setting up dudes to get caught by their ops. I mean, the ops get mad. They can never catch, the enemy. We can't never catch dude. Where he at? We can't never get to him. Well, let's just send Erica where he at. And we'll tell Erica to bring him back to the house. And that's where we'll get him. Okay? And 9 times out of 10, the enemy will bump into Erica, right? Erica brush up against him, talk to him, and tell him to meet her back at her house. And there he comes. And next thing you know, the ops got him. Right? Happens all the time. Dudes getting set up by women for the ops to catch him. And the op knows that all I got to do is send a pretty woman in there and we'll get dude. We'll get him. No self-control, man. Go back to the biblical days. Look at Samson. All right. Samson, the strongest man in the world, a man literally anointed with supernatural strength, right? But he laid his head in the lap of who? Delilah, right? And she played him like a piano. She played him like a fiddle. She kept asking where his power came from. And each time he lied, okay? And she tried it. That should have been a red flag right there. But, when a man's flesh is louder than his spirit, he can't hear warnings because we allow the flesh to overtake us, right? Eventually, Samson gave up his secret, told Delilah where his strength came from, fell prey to the pretty woman, fell prey to the eyelids, fell prey to the lipstick, fell prey to the makeup, fell prey to the bosom, to the breast, fell prey, right? Fell prey. And he gave up his secret. Right? And that situation caused him to get his hair cut off. Right? And when he got his hair cut off, he was captured by the enemies. He was captured by the ops. That's not just a Bible story. That's a cautionary tale. Many men today get around a woman, okay? They talk to a woman that they like, etc. And they start to spilling the beans, telling secrets, bumping their gums, giving out all of the information, telling their deepest, darkest secrets, letting her know stuff that they've never told anybody else. Where this is at, where that is at, the number to this, the number to that, the passcode, this is that, etc. And the next thing you know, a year later, she's no longer interested. But now she has all of your codes and all of your secrets and everything, and she uses it against you. This is the way of the world, man. This is the way of the world. Okay? Then you have King David, right? A man after God's own heart. But even he got weak. He saw Bathsheba bathing, right, from a rooftop, and instead of turning away, he sent for her. She was married, but David didn't care, like a lot of dudes today, right? A lot of dudes today mess with other men's wives, etc. Right? David slept with her, got her pregnant, and then he had her husband killed. His whole kingdom suffered because of that one moment of lust. Think about it. And don't forget King Solomon, man, the wisest man to ever live. But the Bible says his many wives turned his heart away from God. He started worshiping idols because of the women he tied himself to. Wisdom, listen, wisdom means nothing if your heart is weak. All these men were chosen, all were powerful, but none of them had enough discipline when it came to women, man. Dudes have constantly fell prey to women way back in the biblical days up until now. Up until now. You off people over women. You all out here crashing out over women. You're getting offed over women. You're mean mugging other dudes over women. You're fighting over women. Entire neighborhoods have been brought down to crumbs over women. The strongest man becomes weakling when it comes to a woman. Seriously. We have to stop doing that. We have to get the strength to overcome the lust, to overcome the power of women. Okay. And I'm going to tell you how to do it in a minute. But listen, the Bible, man, the Bible warns us against whores and harlots. Okay. What we would call today, what? Hoes, right? HOES. Okay. The Bible tells us about these women, man. The Bible is not quiet about such women. Proverbs 5, 6, and 7 says, it talks directly about the seductive woman, right? The immoral woman, right? It says her lips drip honey, right? But her path leads to death. Proverbs 6:25 says, do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. Another translation says, captivate you with her eyelids. Yeah. The makeup game is treacherous. It's ancient. Okay. The Bible warns us about being hypnotized by the outward appearance of women while ignoring the poison within the hearts of some of them. Now, I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about a particular batch of women. Okay. Particular batch, not all, because you have lovely women out there. Okay. These aren't just bad women. All right. These are tools of destruction. When you're not walking in the spirit, you fall prey to a lot of these tools. Okay. And again, I'm not trying to bash women. All right. I'm trying to bash all women, etc. What I am doing is exposing the dangers of uncontrolled lust. That's what the Bible says in Proverbs 7:26. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Even mighty men fall to these women. Okay. Can't control themselves when it comes to women. We have to get our self-control in check. You need discipline. You need discipline. Women have been the cause of many men's downfalls and many men going to the grave. Women have did it. Dudes have gotten shot, got into fights, killed other dudes, got killed, etc. All while trying to prove something to this woman. Let's stop sugarcoating it, man. Too many men, even successful ones, are led by their private area. I'm going to keep it a buck. Too many of you dudes out here, too many of us men are led by our private area instead of our purpose. Fame doesn't protect you. Money doesn't make you holy, and women don't make you a man. Self-control does. And if we're real about this, most of us weren't raised to control our urges. We were told to act on them. We had uncles and fathers and stuff who put women in front of us and asked us when we gonna get some and when we got some, etc. And when we gonna lay with a woman. Oh man, you still a virgin, you ain't got none yet. Hey man, are you her, that's your friend? You just her friend, why you ain't hitting it? We've always been encouraged to be perverse and to be whores and to sleep around and lay around. Right? We were raised to chase women. Okay? But let me tell you, man, when you let women control you sexually, right? You become weak, very weak, vulnerable. And this is why a lot of women take a lot of you dudes for jokes, because they know all you want is something sexual, nothing serious. And it's true for many of you dudes, not all of you, but many of you are just looking for something sexual. All right? And eventually you fall. All right. Listen, running around here with no self-control, trying to sleep with every woman. That's not manhood. That's actually bondage. Every man needs to hear this, man. You don't gain power by how many women you sleep with. You gain power by how many women you can say no to, talking to men. Okay? Men need to learn how to start saying no to this woman. Okay? Because this woman is leading you all straight to your grave, and you all are getting popped off out here because of this woman. All right. So, to conclude, how do you gain discipline? How do you gain the discipline that I'm talking about? Okay? I'm not talking about willpower. I'm talking about discipline. How do you get true discipline? Because you can't out-muscle lust. You dudes have already proven that. You can't out-muscle lust. Right? You can't outthink addiction, right? So what do you do? What do you do? Well, you have to walk in the fruits of the Spirit. How did you get the fruits of the Spirit? You choose Christ, get closer to God. Right? That's how you get the fruits of the Spirit. You walk in the Spirit. The Spirit of God, the Spirit of Jesus Christ. All right? I'm talking about the fruits of the Spirit listed in Galatians 5:22-23. All right? One of those fruits is self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, and goodness. All right? That kind of power only comes when you give your life to Christ. That's when the Spirit of God steps in and gives you mastery over your body, your thoughts, and your impulses. You walk in the fruits of the Spirit, and one of the fruits of the Spirit is indeed self-control. Okay? If you're not walking in the Spirit of God, you're walking in the flesh. And the flesh only knows one thing: destruction, misery, mayhem, murder, chaos. The world tells you to do what feels good, right? But God says to do what's right. And when you walk with Him, He can help you walk in the fruits of the Spirit and avoid these pitfalls, man. I'm talking to myself too. I'm not just talking to everybody else. I'm talking to myself. God helps you do it. This ain't just a Shannon Sharpe thing, because Shannon Sharpe and other men have been in this situation countless times again. Countless times again. And sure, women lie, women make up stories, etc. That is true. But a lot of men fall to the, tricks of these women, man. You fall all because you think you are about to get some. You think you're about to get some, man. If you are a man, especially a young one on the rise, you better understand that not every woman is sent by God. Some are sent by the devil to ruin you. Don't fall for the eyelashes like the Bible told you. Don't fall for the curves like the Bible told you. Don't fall for the makeup and the temptress like the Bible told you. Check her spirit, and even more, check yourself. And with that, man, I conclude. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control." That's your weapon. That's your armor. That's your way out. To God be the glory. Peace. I'm gone.